everyone, welcome to my stop along a Cherry on Top's June hop. Today I'm showing you the photos we're going to be using. I'm going to create a layout for my heritage album. We're going to do some stamping. We're going to work with Maggie Holmes' beautiful round trip collection, and I'm just showing you some of the products I picked out to scrapbook with today. Our theme for the hop is summer, and what is more summery than a June bride, right? So my sister was married in June, and I had these photos from her wedding of her and my brother-in-law and my grandparents, and I want to include some of these photos in my heritage album, more kind of recenter photos. You know, I've been scrapbooking all of the older kind of childhood photos from my grandparents, and I want to include some of the things that was part of their later years, things like my sister's wedding. So I decided that these papers with my sister and my brother-in-law and my grandparents would work really well with the round trip collection, especially since my grandparents in the photo, my grandmother's favorite color was purple, and she was wearing this beautiful like lacy lavender dress, and my grandfather has like a light blue suit on, so the colors would work really nicely with this collection. I'm going to keep my page design pretty simple for this layout, but I love how it turned out. It turned out so pretty, and I just adore this beautiful periwinkle color that's in this round trip collection. It's absolutely stunning. I started by matting my photos with two of the pattern papers from the collection, and I am going to go ahead and ink everything up, all of my edges, using some Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink. I thought that oxide ink was just, it's a light gray color, and it just sets off the colors and the elements from the collection that I'm going to use. I'm going to use some of the cut apart pieces from the Maggie Holmes collection, especially some of these beautiful little tags. And there's a couple cut apart pieces I use, but look at how beautiful these papers are. So I did want to add a bit of pattern, some color. I'm going to go with, I think I said this earlier, but I'm going to go with a more go-to design. So I'm just going to put my photos in the middle, give myself a border across the top and the bottom, and then I can go ahead and stamp my title. I grabbed two sets of stamps from my stash, and I'm going to use those to kind of snuggle my title in between my two photos. But look how beautiful those patterns are. At the moment that I am voicing this over, I've created 2-3 layouts using this collection, and it's gorgeous and beautiful, and none of the layouts I created were travel themed. So this is definitely like a more versatile collection. Once I had my borders set up across the top and across the bottom, I'm going to decide where I want my photos, and I'm just going to mark the little corner there. I'm doing that with a pencil because I want to put this paper into my Misty, my big Misty, and I'm going to stamp my title. I've chosen 2 Catherine Pooler inks and 2 stamp sets from my stash. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these pattern paper strips in place, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping. I did do the stamping off camera because I used my large Misty and I used the door, and I felt like I didn't need to record that part. It did take a long time. It's not an easy, I wanted it to be a certain way, and I wanted things to be straight and things like that. So I went ahead and let my battery have some charge while I did the stamping, simply because I was filming on this day, and I needed to get my camera on the charger as often as I possibly could. I used Catherine Pooler's Stone Blue and Tranquil inks, and I stamped every one of my letters twice so that I had a really nice, crisp, clean title ready to go. And I absolutely love how this turned out. I think the title just worked so well. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to get my photos in, and then we're going to work with embellishments. And I have just a little bit of journaling I want to do on this page, not a whole lot. I did use my tabby dots to pop up my smaller photo to give it a little bit of dimension and separation from the page. And I knew I was going to be adding like all these beautiful floral elements. So I wanted to kind of add a bit of lift to my photos. Well, to the one photo anyway. I've pulled together some embellishments that I think I want to use. I'm also going to pull in just a little bit of the light pink to break up some of the blue and the purple on my layouts. So I'm just going to fidget a little bit, kind of get these die cuts where I want them. Be sure to head down to the description box below and hop along and see what everyone else is doing for their summer themed project. All of the design team from A Cherry on Top is playing along, so you will have tons of inspiration, lots of summery projects to check out and look for. So I'm kind of getting these die cuts in place. I end up not using that camera, and you'll actually see that one later on in June. It's part of another layout that I did the same day, I think. Just adding, moving stuff around. This was a lot of fidgeting. There were some elements I really wanted to be sure to include on this page. Things that, like that swan that I thought was super romantic and sweet for a wedding page. And I probably wouldn't be doing another wedding page with this collection. So I really wanted to make sure that some of these elements I really wanted on the page kind of worked. I apologize if my voice is a bit raspy today. This is the first video I'm voicing over after surgery, and surgery went great. Surgery went well. I am resting. I am being very good. I'm actually curled up in bed today, but I was a bit bored. So I'm glad that I saved some video footage to edit and voice over, because I'm not one to lay or rest. And so having some things like this that I kind of saved to do was a good idea. But from the surgery and being intubated and all that, my throat is still a bit sore, and my voice is still a bit raspy. I keep kind of losing it. So sorry if I sound a bit off, that's why. But I'll be back to fight and wait very soon with a regular, normal voice. Once I had my die cuts in place, I knew I wanted to add some of these thickers. I know from experience that I tend to order and purchase these kind of puffy thickers, and I love them, and then I end up not using them. So I wanted to be very sure that I included some of these puffy thickers on each of the layouts I created with this collection. I don't want them. I really do love them, and I really do want to use them. So I'm very mindful of adding them to all of the different projects that I am creating with this line. I'm sure there will still be some extras that will then go into my Maggie Holmes iris container and get mixed up with all of my other Maggie Holmes goodies. But I wanted to make sure I did use some of them. So I'm adding a whole bunch here. I really do like these puffy thickers. I like the words and the fonts and the icons. It's a really nice set, and it's a little more than just, an alphabet, right? So I do want to go ahead and make sure that I include them on my project. So I'm going to go ahead and add quite a few to this layout. Adding just a bit of journaling to my layout on this kind of light pink tab or label, not too much. And then I'm going to add the date up at the top as well. I'm going to add just a few of these cute little puffy hearts as my last little finishing touch. And then I also have the sticker book, and since I'm working on white cardstock for my base, I know I can tuck in a couple of these clear stickers onto my page if I want. I honestly can't remember if I used any or not, or if I grabbed a phrase sticker. I must have grabbed something, yeah. And so those are going to be just the last little finishing touches to kind of round out my clusters, make them look complete. I also, you know, my title at the top is almost touching those borders. So I want to make sure that I balance that by adding enough towards the bottom cluster so that the bottom cluster almost touches those pattern paper borders as well. And so that was my thought with regard to design. I want to make sure that everything is balanced, because I did end up with kind of like 4 embellishment clusters. And for me, that means those 4 embellishment clusters need to almost make a diamond shape to look well designed and balanced. That's just my personal opinion. There are no rules in scrapbooking. So that's what I'm doing there. Look how pretty. I just love how this layout turned out. It turned out so, so lovely. I hope you will take a peek at everybody else's layouts today around the hop. Here are all of the beautiful close-ups. Have a fabulous, fabulous June, and I will be in touch and see you again soon. Bye.